I love Bangalore. Kannada gottilla. I've not done such a light-hearted, romantic film. It's very colourful, lively, fun, entertaining, naughty. Why is it not Do Aur Do Pyaar and it's Do Aur Do Pyaar?
Hello everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us. She's your Manjalika, she's your Parita, and she's your Sulu. But most of all, she's our lovely Vidya Balan. Hi Vidya.
Hi, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here in Deccan.
No, it's my pleasure entirely.
So, how's Bangalore treating you?
It's too short a trip, but I have to say I've always loved Bangalore. So I'm always happy to come back. I was a bit stunned by how hot it is.
Yes.
As Bombay seems cooler, and that's not been my experience in Bangalore in all these years. But I love Bangalore. Right. I just like the vibe, everything about it. My sister used to live here long ago.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of time here when she was here.
Okay.
And I have a lot of fond memories.
That's lovely. And do you know any bit of Kannada? Not
Kannada gottilla.
That's a good one. So Vidya, we'll talk about your new film. It's Do Aur Do Pyaar. Yeah. It's releasing on April 19th. Yes. How unlike is this role from your previous ones? Can you tell me a bit about it?
I've not done such a light-hearted, fun, romantic film. Like I think my last fun film was Tumhari Sulu and then Shakuntala.
Right.
Shakuntala of course didn't release in theatres, but I think this one is like, I'm a die-hard romantic. So I'm always looking for a nice romantic story to tell, but I think not many people are telling those stories. So I was thrilled when this came my way, and it's very colourful, lively, fun, entertaining, naughty. So right up my alley, and the music is great. Right. You know, we have a nice bunch of actors. There's Pratik Gandhi, there's Ileana, Sendhil Ramamurthy and me. And even the other actors, in the film, they're all like, so it was great fun, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yes. And tell us about the cast, it's a very different kind of cast that you have, right? So, how was your chemistry with them?
The cast is obviously very special in this film. Thankfully, we got along well, so that really helped. And we had a very chilled out director. Okay. Shisha Guha Thakurta. It's her first feature film, but she's a very well established ad filmmaker. Acting is so much about reacting, right? So when you have actors who are good, it ups your game.
I know.
So and it makes your job that much easier. It didn't really on this film. I have to say, it didn't feel like nothing felt like an effort.
Right.
Which was also, it's the zone of the film. It's the tone of the film. But yeah, and I had one of my favorite producers.
Oh, yes.
Ellipsis Entertainment, which is Tanuj and Atul and Swati. So it was fun.
Right. And you played the mathematician Shakuntala Devi.
Yes.
What is the mathematics in this Do Aur Do Pyaar? We are very curious to know.
Yeah, exactly. You have to watch it when it releases in theatres on the 19th of April to figure why is it not Do Aur Do Pyaar and it's Do Aur Do Pyaar.
Right. Right.
The rest I leave to your imagination.
You're not revealing anything right now. Yes.
I'm not going to be Shakuntala Devi and break it down for you.
So any incident or moment that you're carrying with you, anything that resonates with you from the shooting?
We would not allow Pratik to talk at all. There were a whole lot of women on this film.
Right.
And I remember there were times when he just looked stunned because he'd start saying something and not in a bad way or anything, but we were all so passionate and excited and we would all be chipping in, and even the ADs were mostly women, so we were all so gung-ho about what we were doing. He would sometimes be like, I think he was feeling like, what the hell, where have I landed myself, I think that's why I used to love watching his expressions. And we would be absolutely irreverent and talk rubbish. And I think that's the part that had him tongue-tied most of the time. He'd be like, what? I think he grew up on the film. No, but it was fun. It was, you know, I'd obviously watched Scam, and he was fantastic in Scam, and this is a completely different zone of film.
Exactly.
But he's makhan in the film. I just, when you watch the film, you enjoy watching him.
Right.
He's so funny, you know. And that's really, it says so much about the range of the actor, right? From Scam to this, it's just, wow.
So what is this one thing, you know, that made you pick up this script? You know, I'm sure you go through your scripts 100 times before picking, because your roles are so good and so dynamic. So what made you choose this?
I think the fact that it's a kind of story that I'd never heard before.
Oh, okay.
You know, and when I heard the one line from our producer Swati, I was like, what? That sounds interesting. And of course, then they worked on the script and came back to me with it. And the script had an innate, you know, liveliness, joy, romance to it. I loved that zone, and I don't get to do that too often.
Yes.
You know, I'm not. I do my work seriously, but I'm not serious a person.
Yes,
know?
that we know that.
So I really liked that, and I liked. I'm feeling a bit. I'm being a bit cautious in what I'm saying, because I don't want to give away. You know, what is it about the story that grabbed me? But that you'll know when you watch it on the 19th. It was just. I also think that, you know, you've never seen romance in marriage. You know, even if you may see glimpses of romance within a marriage, but the story is about something else.
Yes.
So it's about marriage and romance and modern relationships and all of that, right? So it's, yeah, I felt it was new.
Right. That's exactly what I want to ask you. You know, there are not many good scripts now in Bollywood. So, you know, some of them are being hidden behind the grandeur of sets. So, what do you think about it? Do you think there are good stories like these that's coming up? Or,
Yeah, you know, I think there's never a dearth of good stories, Anupama, but we're going through a slightly tricky time in the Hindi film industry. So, you know, because a lot of our big films haven't worked. So people are being conservative about the medium and small-sized films all the more. And then when it comes to women-led films, your options narrow down even further. So I think it's all that, but it's a phase, and we're going to outgrow it, you know, because some of the big films have done stupendously well. And then there was a film like 12th Fail, which gives you so much hope, you know, because it was such a fantastically made film, such a fantastic story, so honest, and it just touched a chord with everyone. So I think it's really a function of the times, and it's not a dearth of stories. It's just the fear that, oh my God, not knowing what is working, what is not working. I think that's natural.
Yeah.
You know, everyone is tightening their purse strings, and
yes, that's true.
you know, producers, platforms.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we'll bounce back sooner than we know.
So what do you think, you know, do you know, is there a secret or something for a film to be a success? Have you ever thought about it?
I wish I knew that. I don't think anyone knows it. But I will say this, that, you know, I feel when a film is told with absolute conviction and without second guessing the story you're telling or the way you're telling it, it always works. So, you know, whether it was, actually you take any film, right? So whether we're talking about a 12th Fail or you're talking about, you know, a Pathan, or you're talking about Gangubai, they're all different kinds of films. But look at it, they've all worked.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really about the conviction, I think, with which it's made.
Stories are told.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people are looking for entertainment today, you know, because there's, I feel anyway, especially post-COVID, we've been through so much, right?
Yes.
As a people. that we just now want to forget about our worries and just go in and watch.
Right.
Yeah.
And just let
Yeah.
ourselves be.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Another thing, which I always wonder, when you're given a line which, Vidya, maybe you do not agree with it personally, but do you voice it out to your director?
Oh, most definitely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I do. When I don't agree with anything in the story, I bring it up with the writer, director, if need be even the producer.
Right.
But that's in early stages before I've said yes to the film.
Right.
And of course, after that, once you've said yes to the film and you're prepping with the director, then you go through, you personalize lines as a character. If it doesn't feel natural, you work your way through that. But if the writer and director are absolutely convinced that this has to be the line,
Right.
I will make a way to personalize it.
Right.
Because it's been written with a certain thought.
Right.
So, if they feel that no, you can change it a little bit, or in the way you're saying it, but if they feel no, this is a line, this is a punch, for example, I need to get that punch. I need to work my way towards
That.
yeah. So yeah, it's a process. It's not one way, but I'm always I think from the beginning of my career, pretty much, I've always told people, if maybe after the first 2-3 years, I began telling people that this doesn't quite work for me.
Yeah, and you have a master's in sociology.
Yes.
So I guess you know what is what.
Yeah, I guess it's also more than that, I think it's just feeling like I have the right to voice my opinion.
Right.
And I have as much of a stake in what I'm doing.
Right.
It's a collaborative medium. So,
Right.
and I am really the face of the story.
Absolutely.
So if I'm not convinced, I cannot convince you about what I'm doing. Therefore, it's very crucial that I.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I also want to ask you about something, that's very important. It's about the pay parity in Bollywood and maybe South Indian film industries. Have you ever given it a thought?
Oh, absolutely. Given it a thought, because I've been asked this question millions of times. But I think it is the need of the hour to address that. And
Right.
I definitely think we're being paid better.
Right.
For example, in the kind of films I do, the amount of money I get paid in terms of ratio equals the amount of money a man gets paid in a male-centric film.
Yeah.
But the budget of that hero-led film is much bigger. So
Yes.
obviously, if in absolute terms, there is a vast difference. But I think that's why it's very important to see it in terms of ratio,
Right.
and hope that our budgets will increase, which means, we'll do
better.
better and better. But we're definitely in a better place now.
Yeah, that's great. And I just want to ask you, have you faced rejection any time in your professional life?
Oh, of course, it's part of life, Anupama. And loads, in the beginning of my career, especially when I was, I went down to Kerala to do my first Malayalam film.
I know that.
Yeah, so I was doing a film called Chakram with Lal sir, and that film stopped midway, and then unfortunately and bizarrely, I got labelled jinxed after that. So I got replaced in a lot of films that I had gotten signed for during the course of the shoot
Yes.
of that film.
I'm aware.
Yeah, so that was one big story that I can talk about. But I think in life, on a day-to-day basis, sometimes you do face rejection, But I think it begins to, if things have worked out more or less, the small rejections affect you less.
Yeah. So how do you cope with such situations, and you look forward to your next film? How do you do that?
For example, when a film doesn't work, it is a form of rejection, it is
Yes, absolutely.
heartbreaking, but I think I talk about it a lot. I speak to my closest people about it. I vent, because it is like a breakup. You repeat the same thing again and again, and you're figuring why, why the hell did it not work? Because everyone's put in so much into a film. But I think I let it out of my system. I don't keep it in, so by the time I go on to the next, I'm ready to move on.
Right, right.
I think that's very important, and I work with a healer, so that also gives me a lot of perspective and clarity.
Right. And you know, another thing I've noticed about Bollywood is, maybe in other film industries as well, a person is judged by the way they look instead of their talent.
I think in life people judge by appearance. For all of us do, you know. I cannot claim that I have never done that. Yeah. Now maybe with awareness, I'm learning not to, but it's second nature to us human beings, right? To judge another by appearance. So it is a lot of work to reach a stage where you don't, and then we're talking about films, which is a visual medium.
Right.
So I think there are, you do get judged for it, and I think when that changes in society, it will also change for films. But I also think that for women get judged that much more severely.
Right.
And I think the definition of beauty is now expanding, which is great. But otherwise, you had a set body type. For example, I can fully understand why a Taylor Swift is such a rage the world over, because she ticks all your boxes, you know. But there is not one kind of beauty, and I think now we're slowly opening up to that, which is, yeah, but and I also realized early on in my career that, you know, what the hell, I can't change the way I look. Right. I better embrace it. Right. Because if I don't, no one is going to. Right. But thankfully for me, you know, people may have different opinions, but I think very highly of myself. So that helps.
So Vidya, I think these are the questions I have, but I also know that you sing. Do you want to?
No, really?
Yeah.
I don't really sing.
But you can.
I'll attempt, but please, all my Tamilian brethren, shut your ears. Kaatre ni vasal vandai, medvaha kadava tirandai, kaatre ni in pere keten kadal yenrai. That's it. Oh my God, I can't believe my mother is going to.
That was lovely, and thank you so much, Vidya, for being here and, you know, talking to us.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Anupama.